Good morning, Chair Taylor and members of the committee. My name is Julie Barrett, and I'm testifying today as the mother of a 17-year-old homeless child in Washington State, in strong opposition to House Bill 2016. My daughter isn't truly homeless. She has a loving family and a home where she is very much wanted. She is homeless thanks to Washington policies. Section 1 of this bill lays out the problem to be solved, stating the legislature finds that adolescents are without stable housing due to familial conflicts, financial strain, or other unforeseen circumstances. Almost 3 years ago, I became acutely aware of the Washington state laws that prevented me from exercising my God-given right as the primary stakeholder in my child's life when Seattle Children's Hospital shuffled my then 14-year-old to a youth homeless shelter in Seattle. Since then, I have been appearing before this legislature advocating for children like mine and parents like me. Over the course of these years, I have met hundreds of parents like me with children suffering from mental illness and addiction, just like mine. I've talked to social workers, homeless shelter staff, medical professionals, DCYF staff, and even juvenile court staff. And every single one of them has professed their frustration with the laws made by this body that prohibit them from helping these children. I've learned that there's no point in asking questions. I've received calls from social workers to let me know that my child is in the hospital again. I've learned that there's no point in asking questions about how she's doing. And I've grown tired of hearing, "I'm sorry, ma'am, I wish I could tell you, but the law doesn't let me give you more information." It's ironic that these same facilities need my permission for my daughter to go on a Walmart outing, but if she's hospitalized for mental health, it's none of my business according to state law. Parents like me who have the means and the desires to help our children are forced out by laws just like this, allowing children who have very serious issues to play grown-up when most of them can't even function enough to go to school. This bill claims to solve a problem that was created by this very legislature. In 2022, it was ESSB 5883, the Youth Homeless Bill. Last year, it was Senate Bill 5599, allowing children to be in homeless shelters if they desire so-called protected health care, and many more before these. Except for a very few, most of these youth are suffering from mental illness and addiction. They are incapable of caring for themselves, let alone the responsibility of rent and utilities. If the sponsors of this bill truly want to help kids, start talking to the parents, the social workers, and medical providers who are so frustrated with the inability to help because of the constraints of Washington laws. This is not compassion. It's not a solution. It's a recipe for more disaster and destruction for our kids. Thank you for letting me exceed my time. Please do not pass this bill.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Taylor and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today. My name is Mary Long, and I'm representing Conservative Ladies of Washington, speaking in opposition to House Bill 2016. Allowing minor children to sign lease agreements for housing and utilities is not a way to solve the youth homeless crisis. The legal age to sign a lease agreement in Washington State is 18. That means any contract signed by a person under the age of 18 is not really enforceable by law. That alone leaves many questions. Will landlords be required to rent to 16 and 17-year-olds who do not have jobs, do not have established credit, and have no way of confirming their means to pay the rent? What happens if the rent becomes delinquent? Can the landlord evict them? And if they do, where would the minor go? Lease contracts are only enforceable through court proceedings. Current law requires that a minor must legally be sued through a parent or a guardian. Who will landlords sue if the child is considered to be homeless? Because they are minors, it is assumed they would be able to get out of these contracts, leaving landlords in a very difficult position. We've already seen the strain our state and local laws have had on landlords. Passing House Bill 2016 into law will almost certainly have a negative impact on housing availability. This bill is not a solution to a problem. It will create more problems, and we ask you not to pass this bill out of committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Timer. Is it 4 minutes? 2. Got it. Okay. My name is Eric Pratt. I am from the 24th Legislative District, and I am speaking in opposition to 2016. The question I ask myself with this is, does the number of people helped by this bill, 2016, outweigh or outnumber the number of people harmed. We've heard plenty of anecdotes about kids couch surfing and things like that. And in fact, some really good stories about kids pulling themselves up by their bootstraps and becoming successful. And I worry that what we're doing is we're actually compromising the family, the sanctity of good homes with stakes in their kids' lives for the potential possible benefit of a very small few. Anecdotes shouldn't be what we use to draft laws. It should be based on data, and it should be weighed with those sacrifices in mind. Now, we already have a process. Minors can become emancipated, and that's sort of their way of breaching the problems that they may face in those situations. If it's a matter of abuse or harm in the home, there's already laws against that and help for them if that's the case. But if we're undermining the authority of the parents and usurping the emancipation process, why even have the emancipation process in the first place? And so it seems like we're just constantly chipping away at this, trying to solve a problem by harming more people than we're helping. I urge you to do not pass this bill out of committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Do we have any questions of the online panelists?